Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought let me just do something differently. I thought let me talk about my thyroid condition, how I was diagnosed. First of all, maybe just to say what is a thyroid. The thyroid is an organ, it's a small butterfly shaped organ that is found here on the human being. Everybody has it. And women are the ones who struggle a lot with thyroid conditions. I'm not sure why. But we have two types of thyroid conditions. We have hypothyroidism and we also have hyperthyroidism. Hypothyroidism means that this little butterfly shaped organ here is not producing enough thyroid hormones. It's almost like hypertension or hypertension. And then hyperthyroidism is when your thyroid gland is actually producing too much thyroid hormones than your body can use or than your body needs. Yes. How I was diagnosed, it was in 2018. And in 2018, I was struggling a lot. I was always very tired. I was very exhausted, always very. And I thought it was because of what was happening in my life at the time. It was pretty hectic. I was juggling a lot of things, and that thing of wanting to be superwoman, doing so many different things and thinking that you can handle everything. But then at some point I was just so tired. I mean, I remember sometimes I would be driving with my partner, he'd be driving, but I would just fall asleep. Like I would just get this fatigue out of nowhere, and then I would just fall asleep while he's talking to me. I remember even one day when I was reversing I bumped the side of the garage, and it was the weirdest thing. It's like I wasn't paying attention. And one day I was attending a workshop, and I was telling this lady that, you know what, I'm very exhausted. This colleague of mine, I'm always very exhausted. I don't know what's happening with me. I can't explain it. It's not like I'm working too hard. Sometimes I'm not working too hard for me to be feeling this way. And she even said, maybe it's iron, maybe it's your iron levels, you need to go check them out. She even looked at my hands. I don't know, what do you see if your iron levels are low or high, by looking at your hands. And I thought, okay, it's fine, I'll go see a doctor. A few days after that, I went to see a doctor. I got there and I told her, I said, doc, I'm very tired. I'm not sick, but I'm very exhausted. I'm always exhausted. I don't know what's happening with me. And then let's run tests. And she ran tests. She ran a pregnancy test. She ran a whole lot of tests. I don't even remember other tests. She ran the iron level test. And we waited for the results. And then when the results came, it was hypothyroidism. It's not chronic. It's just at the entry level. I don't remember, subclinical, something like that, subclinical level. It's not yet hectic. And then, okay, fine. And since from then I'm taking pills which are called the thyroid replacement hormone. It's the Eltroxin. So I take Eltroxin every day. It's advisable to take it in the morning on an empty stomach, about 30 minutes to an hour before you consume anything, so that your body can be able to absorb the pill. But a few things that I just want to share since I've been diagnosed. I was diagnosed by the doctor on a yearly basis. We run tests just to see where the levels are. My levels are back in range, but we need to keep them in range. So I must always be taking the pill. At least that's what the doctors are saying. So every year we do the test, and I think I'm doing well because my numbers, like I said, they are always in range. So, and the symptom that I had was exhaustion, was tired, being tired all the time. And that is one of the things, the reason why I thought, let me just share this, because a lot of us are tired. A lot of us, we walk and we go by our days feeling exhausted, but we don't know what is wrong with us, and we just think that, you know what, I'm bent out. Perhaps you are bent out, but sometimes it could actually be something as serious as a thyroid. It gets so bad, guys, that this gland, it becomes huge. I don't know what is the right word in English. It becomes big, and sometimes it even gets removed because the thyroid condition is left untreated, and people get tired, you start to gain weight, you have brain fog, you have a breakout of hives, you there's a lot of things. There is just a lot of them. Your hormones are just way haywire. So just to give more clarity in terms of what the thyroid is, so the thyroid, it regulates temperature, it regulates your metabolism in your body. So the feeling of cold, the feeling of hot, how your metabolism is slow, how your metabolism is fast. So like I'm hypothyroid, it means that my metabolism is very fast. So now can you imagine, I'm approaching 40, obviously already my metabolism is slow, and now I have this condition. It means that my metabolism is extremely slow. I have to find ways to live to make sure that I ramp up my metabolism even much more than if I didn't have hypothyroidism. That is why people who are hypothyroid, they actually gain weight. That is why most of them are actually overweight. The doctor, when I go to see her and she looks at me and I still look the same, and she's always like, wow, you're doing well. Even the gynecologist, she always tells me, you're really doing well, you really have your life in check. And I really do try, because it's tough, guys. It's really tough. Imagine being tired. We're not even just tired, because the tiredness of hypothyroidism is a completely different tired. It's a completely different tired. It's not just the tired of I'm tired, let me just sit for 30 minutes, then I'll be okay. It just requires a complete shift in your life, the type of food that you eat, what you drink, what you do, how you conduct your life. And that is why I actually stopped drinking alcohol, also because I started to realize that alcohol was just making me tired. And I always tell people, it's not like I was feeling like I'm getting too drunk. No, I felt like after 2 drinks, I just get tired, not drunk, tired, because I used to drink, like any other regular person. I would be drinking 6 drinks and I'll still be okay. But I started to realize that, you know what, this thing is just exhausting my body. And then slowly but surely, I decided that, you know what, I don't have to continue drinking alcohol. I'd rather feel good than feel the way that I feel when I'm drinking alcohol. And then I also started to listen to my body. I never used to realize that there's this thing of listening to your body. You eat something and then you start to pick up that your body doesn't like this thing. When I eat this thing, I get tired, or when I eat this thing, I feel this way, or there's pain in my stomach, or things. Those are the things that I started to pay attention to, because I wanted to feel good. Remember, I was tired most of the time. I was exhausted. I was fatigued most of the time. So I had to find ways where I can actually feel better. I wanted to feel good. So if I'm going to eat dumpling and then I'm going to start feeling sick and tired and feeling like I need to sleep for about an hour for me to feel better, then I started realizing those things, and I was like, okay, fine. I don't know whether these things are related to the thyroid condition, but it cannot be a coincidence that I'm exhausted and now I'm diagnosed, and then now all these things are happening. I'm feeling like this. So I had to look after myself extreme to the extreme. I had to discover things like fasting. That my body actually feels good if I do fast. My body feels good if I skip breakfast. People say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but for me, if I skip breakfast and I eat at lunch, or even if I skip lunch also and I eat later in the day, I feel good because my metabolism is slow. My body takes long to digest the food and turn it into energy. So I need to give my body enough rest, or enough rest to do this thing before I dump another food on top. I need to give it enough time to do its work. Yes, fasting is not easy in the beginning. It takes self control and determination. But once I got used to it, it's easy for me to just skip breakfast and I eat lunch. Sometimes when it's hectic, I don't even eat lunch, and then I come back from home and I eat that time, and I feel good. So I just thought today, let me just do something different and share my journey, because this is also about self-empowerment. A lot of things that I've learned about the thyroid condition and how to help yourself, how to feel, to make yourself feel better. I learned them from the internet. I learned them from joining Facebook groups that are created for hypothyroidism, and some of these things, all the doctors that I've seen, they have not told me those things, because I've never been to an endocrinologist, which is the doctor that specializes in thyroid conditions. I've only been our normal doctors, our GPs. So, in all these tips that I'm speaking about, I didn't get them from the doctor. It's things that I had to research and say, okay, how do I deal with this? Because before I was diagnosed, I was not even aware of what is this. I didn't know about a thyroid. I didn't know that there's something called hypothyroidism. I had to do my own research and say, okay, what is this? And once you are diagnosed with it, what do you do? Um what affects you now that you have, and for you to feel better and to live a normal life, what do you do? Because a lot of people struggle, many people struggle with hypothyroidism, even hyper. It's matter of balancing. That is why eh, periodically you have to go and do tests to see if your blood, your number is in range, so that the doctor can either increase your dose, or also to maybe to change the medication. But I've been taking the same medication since 2018, because I am implementing all these other tips that I'm telling you about in order for me to feel good and live a normal life. Because many people who are diagnosed with hypothyroidism, they really struggle to live a normal life because they're always exhausted. They wait, it's almost like your body is just completely out of control. And yeah, people always hormone something, like when your hormones are out of control. We have thyroid condition. It's like your body is out of your control, so you have to find ways to get a hold of this body and control it, and be the one who controls what happens in your body. And yeah, that's what I thought. Let me just share that, because I think it's important. For some reason, I just thought, let me do this up today and talk about this and help someone, because we are really struggling right now. We are facing financial difficulties, economic. The economy is looking is not good. We're struggling with a lot of things, and then you find yourself tired and you think, this is just about what is going on in my life. Can't you know? It is actually a medical condition that is actually keeping you so exhausted that you can't even pull yourself from that couch. You can't pull yourself from that bed. It's a daily struggle. So I hope I've shared a little bit, and it will help someone maybe to go, because for you to diagnose any thyroid condition, you need to do it through blood work. You can't just say, because I'm exhausted. There's so many things that can contribute to you tired, to be fatigued. So for you to know if you have this condition, you need to do it through blood tests. So I hope I'm helping someone. I hope you'll get checked out, and I hope you'll get all the help you need so that you can live a very good life. You know, you can feel good. It's very important to feel good. I mean, it's quality of life. Don't forget to subscribe to my page, guys. If you so much, please subscribe to my channel, and then yeah, leave me a comment about this, if this is something that you're experiencing, or this is something that you've experienced and how you've dealt with it.